Hello traders, and welcome to lesson number 22 in the ReadFX Beginners Forex course. In this lesson then, we're going to go in depth and look at win rates. So you'll remember from the last lesson that your win rate is the percentage of winning trades out of the total number of trades taken. So for example, if you take 100 trades and 50 of them are winners and 50 of them are losers, then your win rate is 50%. So you can see a little screenshot of one of my accounts here, and you can see my win rates down the bottom, and all it's doing is it's looking at the total trades and then working out how many of those are my winners and how many are my losers. So do win rates actually matter? Well, the Millennium Fund, which is regarded as being one of the best funds in the world, has consistently outperformed the market and all other funds, and I'm going to show you their win rate in a second. Now this is the 30-year history, and you can see it's absolutely incredible. There are very few funds out there that even survive 30 years, let alone have a history like this. They've only had one losing year, and most hedge funds make about 7.5% per year, and you can see that in some cases they've hit 35, almost 40%, and the vast majority of the time it is above that 7%, so they're a very, very good fund. Now you might be surprised to know then that they target strategies with a win rate of just 50.1%, okay? And that extra 0.1% equates to billions in profits. Now let that sink in for a second. Retail traders, on the other hand, spend a lot of time trying to find magic candle patterns with very high win rates, or even strategies which never lose, which of course is impossible. But you tend to see retail traders targeting 60 or 70% win rates, or trying to find that strategy of 100% win rate. So is it even necessary if funds like the Millennium Fund can target a 0.1% edge, okay, and make billions of profits from it? Now the problem with win rates is that they are often misunderstood. For example, if we look at flipping a coin, so there's an equal chance of landing on heads or tails, which is 50%, but that doesn't mean you'll win 50% of the time. It depends on the distribution of your winners and losers in your sample of bets. And this little sentence here is one of the most important things that you can ever learn in trading. So if you flip the coin 10 times, does that mean you'll get 5 heads and 5 tails? Well, you might do, but it's not likely. And what about the next time you flip it? Will you get 5 heads and 5 tails that time? Or what about if you keep flipping it, you keep doing it 10 times, will it keep coming out at 5 heads and 5 tails? So this is what's known as distribution of winners and losers. So let's have a look at that a little bit more. So the easiest way to explain the distribution of winners and losers is to imagine that you have 1,000 white beads and you have 1,000 blue beads and you've got an empty jar. Now you tip all of the beads in and you shake it up really well. You put on a blindfold and you start to take beads out one at a time. A blue bead is a win and a white bead is a loss. So you pick out the first bead and it's a blue, which is a win. Now can you claim that your strategy has a 100% win rate because you took one trade and it won? Well, no, you can't, and that's because of the sample size. So a sample of one trade is obviously completely irrelevant. Now a very popular sample size with traders is 10. They like to do 10 trades and see the results and kind of say, well, that must be my win rate. And again, 10 trades is absolutely tiny. So if we look at picking beads out of the jar, you could quite easily pick 5 blue and 5 white, but equally you could probably quite easily pick 10 blue out, which would give you a 100% win rate. So if a trader takes 10 trades and catches a winning streak and wins all 10 trades, yes, technically on that sample his win rate was 100%, but we know that that's not going to be the win rate of the strategy. If you keep taking more trades, I guarantee it will not stay at 100%. So you need to find out what the true win rate is. Now another example here is 3 wins and 7 losses, so 3 blue and 7 white, and that could quite easily be the other way around, and that is just because the sample size is very small. But if we move to 100 beads, okay, so a 100 trade sample, what you'll find is that the results start to get closer to what we know the actual win rate is. So in this case, we only have 2 colors in the jar, so that it can only possibly be 50%. And what we see now is 60-40 in either direction. So we no longer have a chance of getting 100%, okay, as we do with a 1 trade or a 10 trade sample. Now, yes, mathematically, statistically, it is possible you could pick out 100 beads, okay, of the same color. You could also, in theory, win 100 trades in a row. If you know anyone who's done that with a strategy that uses a stop loss, then please let me know, because I don't. Now, if we go for 500 beads, 500 is a really nice sample size. You will get pretty accurate results if you look at a 500 trade sample. So what you can see now, 250 is obviously the 50%, that's half of 500, and you can see now that we're getting very close to that. We're just a little bit either side, and if we were to pull out 1,000, we would likely get closer, and obviously if we pull out 1,000 blue and 1,000 white, we get exactly 50%. But the point here is that you need to consider your sample size, okay? Very small sample sizes will mislead you. They will give you results that are not accurate. You need to consider larger sample sizes, look at more data, and you'll get a more accurate indication of what your win rate actually is. Okay, are win rates constant? So based on the testing that I've done, I can tell you that they're not. Win rates change depending on many factors. Things like the instrument. If you have a strategy that trades gold and you go and stick it on the pound US dollar, I guarantee the win rate will change. The same thing will happen if you change the time frame. If you take a 1 minute scalping strategy and stick it on a daily chart, you'll get a very different win rate, I promise. Also, volatility and spread. These both have huge effects on the win rate of a strategy. Now, another thing to consider is that win rates also fluctuate over time as market conditions change, okay? From year to year, the markets do not stay the same, and therefore your win rate won't either. And you can see this with large samples spanning many years. Now, what we have here is a clip from one of my spreadsheets where I've tested an algo, and each one of these periods is a 12-month period, and you can see it runs from 2015 to 2022. Now have a look at the win rate for each year and just look how it changes. Now, I didn't change one single setting in this algo when I ran this test on the historical data, but you can see that the win rate deviates quite a bit from year to year. Now, this is the most important thing that you need to understand when you make your money management plan. As I said in a previous video, one of the biggest reasons that retail traders lose money is their inability to survive losing streaks. If you bet too much, you will lose your account, or you will lose enough of your account that you cannot recover it. So if you assume that your win rate is 50% and that it's always going to be 50%, you will set your bet size based on 50%. But what if that next year it isn't 50%? What if it's 44? What if it's 34? And those losing streaks that are inevitably going to happen, your bet size is now too big to cope with those losing streaks, and you cannot recover from those losses. So it's very important then to understand how your win rates will change over time, to look at the right sample size in the first place to determine what your win rate actually is, and then to form a money management and risk management plan around that to ensure that you can cope with the losing streaks that will inevitably happen in trading. In this lesson then, we looked at win rates and the distribution of winners and losers. In the next lesson then, we are going to look at the risk-reward ratio.